In this lecture, I'd like to talk about the First World War um, that took place from 1914 to 1918. The First World War was one of the most important events in modern history. In fact, it changed the course of the history of Europe and many other places in the world. The First World War was different from previous wars. Many countries from all over the world joined the war, and it was fought in many different parts of the world. It was fought mainly in Europe, of course, but also in Africa, in West Asia, the Middle East, in Eastern Asia, and the Pacific Ocean, and so on. Most of all, though, it was a war which used modern machines and modern industrial power, and the whole population of each country had to work hard to help the war. It was probably the first total war. Of course, it had many causes, but we can only discuss the most important ones here. At the end of the 19th century, many people thought the world was going to start a long period of prosperity and peace. The Industrial Revolution had made it possible for everyone to have a higher standard of living. The Red Cross had been started in Switzerland, the International Postal Union had been set up, and of course the Olympic Games had started. However, the countries of Europe were also competing against each other for new colonies and throughout much of the world, and they really didn't trust each other very much, and they were building larger and larger armies. And starting with Germany, many of the countries thought they could protect themselves better if they made alliances with other countries. An alliance is an agreement between two countries that they will help each other if one is attacked by another country. So Germany made alliance with Italy and Austria, and Russia and France made an alliance together, and then Britain joined Russia and France. And so most of the countries of Europe were connected together in a series of alliances such that if one were attacked, the other countries would have to, some other country would have to go to their help. Very dangerous situation. If two countries started fighting, they would become involved. Other countries would get involved. And this means if one small incident could actually lead to a huge war. And that is in fact what happened. On the 28th of June 1914, this incident occurred. It was a simple thing. An Austrian duke was killed by some Serbian, by a Serbian freedom fighter in what became Yugoslavia. And this led to a series of events. The whole of Europe exploded into warfare. Many countries were involved, and it's not sensible to list them here. But basically there was Germany, Austria and Turkey on one side, and France, Russia and England on the other side. Then in 1817 the Russians left the war because of the Bolshevik Revolution, and the USA at the same time, the United States joined France and England. Japan also had a treaty with England which had been made in 1902, and Japan quickly joined the war on the English side, but did not really make a major effort. The fighting in the First World War was very terrible indeed. The most important weapon was the machine gun. With this, one soldier could hide in a hole in the ground and kill hundreds of other men very, very quickly. So the soldiers lived in trenches in the ground and holes in the ground where they would be safe from machine gun fire. And then they used barbed wire to create fences to stop other people coming to protect themselves. Together, the machine guns and the barbed wire were the major characteristics of the trench warfare of the First World War. And it's very difficult for us to realize just how many people were killed and how easily they were slaughtered. The number of soldiers killed in battle was probably something like about 8 million. I mean, that's a huge number. And there were some days in certain battles when huge numbers were killed in one day. I mean, 250,000 or 250,000 soldiers killed in one day. And this occurred on a number of occasions. And there were also many people killed who were not soldiers. Of course, bombs, famine, disease killed many other people. Probably about 30 million people died as a result of the First World War. Eventually, after 4 years, the English, French and American side won. But the cost to everyone was very great. Apart from the number of people who were killed, many parts of Europe were destroyed, millions of people lost their homes, and most of the countries who fought were economically ruined. There were, of course, important political consequences. The winners in the war decided that the losers should pay for it, pay for the war. And the losers all lost a great deal of territory and had to pay huge sums of money. The map of Europe was completely changed. Many new countries were created. About 10 new countries were made in Europe, and other countries were changed in size. 2 empires disappeared. The Austrian Empire and the Turkish Empire disappeared. New countries were made in the Middle East, in Western Asia. Many colonies throughout the world were changed hands, were moved from one country to another. And, of course, some countries in the world finished with different political systems from when they first entered the war. The most famous case, of course, being Russia. The Communist Party started a revolution in 1917 and formed a government. And this, of course, had considerable influence on the later development of Europe in the 20th century. There were many other changes due to the war. It's impossible to overestimate the influence of the First World War. There were social changes. For example, it was really because of the war that women started to take an active part in politics. During the war, many women took jobs that men had done before because the men went off to fight. And the women often, of course, did a perfectly good job and did it quite well. And people realized that women weren't necessarily second-class citizens. And the women's liberation movement really starts as a result of this war. The First World War did change the course of history, political history, economic and social history throughout the whole world, and led to the future developments of the 20th century.